Welcome to Shift or Get Off the Pot, the podcast that helps you get out of your head and into action so you can make your dreams your reality. Let's get to it. Hey, it's Kim, and I'm back with you on this Friday episode. And on Fridays, I like to take a common theme from the most recent episodes and expand on that theme. And the theme this week is your personal narrative, which is your story about a personal experience. It focuses on specific events or maybe several experiences or memories that have shaped your identity and your values. It's basically a story about yourself based on a memory that you have. We all have a story. It may be true. It may be one that we've embellished over the years, maybe not meaning to, but with time, it may become more emotionally charged each time we talk about it or each time we think about it, especially if things are happening in our lives that maybe we don't really like and we link them back to that memory. For example, let's say you are somebody that has a hard time making friends. Maybe you always say, gosh, I just have a difficult time making friends. We moved a lot when I was younger, so I never really got close to people, I guess. I just figured, heck, we're moving soon. Why bother? Now, someone else in your family, though, may say, hey, I'm pretty outgoing. It's easy for me to make friends. I'm pretty personable. And I think that's probably because when I was younger, we moved so much that I just had to learn how to adapt. And I had to figure out, wow, I'm being put in a new situation. Okay, I got to make new friends. So I did. Same experience, same memory, different beliefs about that memory that now has shaped the identity. It's shaped what we've been telling ourselves about ourselves, and then what our beliefs are and what our actions are as a result of those beliefs. Why is that? Because our brains have a selective filtering system. Psychologists call this filtering priming. And when the brain is primed by a certain belief, it shuts down information that contradicts that belief. So you experience what you believe to be true. So if you want to change that, you have to make a conscious choice to change the beliefs that are no longer serving you. And then you may say, well, how am I really sure if they're serving me or not? Well, look around at your life. Are there things that are constantly showing up or happening that you don't like? Does it maybe feel a bit like the movie Groundhog Day and it's happening over and over again and you just don't want it to? You can change those beliefs. You can change those patterns by, drum roll please, by creating a different story for yourself through your imagination. In other words, you're going to create a memory of a future that you want and infuse it with the energy, the emotional energy you are going to feel when you think about how wonderful it is to be experiencing that future, that lived future. Think about this for a moment. If our memories are so powerful that we can form a belief associated with that memory, which has shaped our identity and now our behavior and likewise our results, how powerful will it be to create a memory of a future that you actually want, a future by your design? And get this. Earlier in the week, I think it was 2 episodes ago, my friend Nick, the Tony Award-winning producer, who now teaches storytelling, shared that science has proven stories have the ability to sync our brains with our listeners, which builds trust and deepens connection. Let's take this into a personal level. Do you realize how powerful this is? Think about this for a moment. Think about how powerful this is, because if you are telling yourself your very own story about a future you want by your design, just by the very act of telling yourself that story, you can boost your own trust and belief in it actually happening for you. Your belief is going to be boosted just by telling yourself that story over and over again, because you're creating a memory of a future that hasn't quite happened yet, but you're making it happen. All change happens. All creation happens from the inside out. First the thought, then the feeling, then the belief, then decision, then action. Action is key here. And then the results or the reality. So to create a memory of a future you want to keep your mind focused on what you want. Not focusing on the things you don't want. You got to stop putting your attention on the things that you don't want. And to do that, just like writing a story or telling a story, your mind, what happens when you tell a story? Think about this. When you're starting to tell a story, your mind will usually conjure up an image about what you're talking about, right? So if we're creating a memory of a future for ourselves, you want to create an image of your future self. Who is that person? What are they like? Do they have a successful business? Well, what does that mean? How are you running that business? Are you doing everything by yourself? Or do you have a team? Are you able to delegate? How are you leading that team? How does your future self show up for yourself? And not just for yourself, how are you showing up for others as well? How are you running that business? What kind of decisions are you making? Are you the top salesperson? What does that feel like? Who is that person? Did you have to lead yourself more in order to get there? You're writing your future story, the story of what you want to experience in your life. Who is the lead character in that story? Who is that person? Maybe you want to be the person who is more outgoing, one who makes friends easily. Okay, great. What's that person like? How do they behave? What choices do they make? How do they show up for themselves? Get into the feelings of what that future self who has what you want is like. Because the more that you can embody the traits of the individual who already has the desired fulfilled, the sooner you are going to reap the rewards. If, and this is a big one, if you take action, even if it's baby steps, even if it's imperfect action, you have to take action. It doesn't matter that you are only thinking about it and writing out in your mind what it is that you want. I want you to be so prepared that if your ship showed up tomorrow, you'd be ready to jump on board. You have an idea for a business? Great. Can you tell me about that business with complete clarity? Can you explain that to me? If I said to you, hey, I have a friend or I have a venture capitalist that is ready to help somebody build their business. I can set up a meeting this afternoon for you. I can set up a meeting for you to sit down and pitch your idea. Are you going to be ready? Are you ready? Or should I skip over you and ask someone else? Do you have a book you want to write? If I said to you, you know what? My friend is a literary agent. My friend's a publisher, and she's looking for new content. But here's the thing. They're only taking submissions today. That's it. You got till 5 o'clock today. Are you ready? Do you have an outline for a book? Do you have a proposal ready to go? Do you know how to create a proposal? Are you even close to getting it done so that maybe you could refine it and have it ready in a few hours? Or is it just still sitting up here in your mind? What about that business idea? Are you ready if I introduce you to my friend that's a venture capitalist, or is it still sitting up here in your mind? You have to take some form of action. You want to be more outgoing? Great. Go to a networking event. Go to a meetup. with the intention of meeting a new person. You see, it's easy to say that you want something, but without action, you're not going to get anywhere. You've got to get yourself prepared physically as well as mentally, because they work in tandem. And as you take action, things are going to become much clearer for you. Not only are you going to start getting more clarity around what you're creating, because once it's out of your mind, once it's on paper, once it's out in front of you, then you can say, oh, I can see, I need to maybe clarify this point a little bit. Maybe I need to refine this a bit. Maybe that's not the right way to go about this. But the path to getting to your desired result is also going to become clearer as well. Maybe you go to a networking event and you're at a meetup or a mixer, and you start to find out that, hey, there's a lot more social opportunities out there that I can take advantage of. Action always creates clarity, but nothing ever happens without action. You got to get prepared. Can you show yourself that you actually believe your dream is possible for you? Because saying you believe it is one thing. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. There are a lot of people that say that they want something, but then they never take action on it. Never. In fact, there's a lot of people that are sitting 6 feet under with dreams buried in their hearts. Show yourself that you believe by taking action. When you take action, that's a whole different story. Because faith is always rewarded, and action is the most powerful way to show faith. Your ship is coming in. There's no doubt about it. Your ship is coming in. The question is, are you ready to hop on? Thanks so much for joining me on this episode, and stay tuned for another episode of Shift or Get Off the Pot.